Four years ago, I posted Timelapse of Human History, portrayed by Plain Crazy. Since then, it's had over 40,000 views. However, it also had a lot of errors regarding historical events, and thus, I decided it was time to remake it. So here is attempt number 2, Humanity's History in Plain Crazy. Enjoy! Our timeline of humanity starts in the Paleolithic Era, which occupies 50% of our total history. The world's natural resources were untapped and unexploited. We were hunter-gatherers. We roamed around from place to place, constantly searching for food. While this era seems boring, it is responsible for some of humanity's greatest discoveries and inventions. Men invented tools to chop wood, kill animals, and harvest plants, and we were given fire by Prometheus, who stole it from the gods. During the last glacial maximum, so much water got trapped inside glaciers that sea levels dropped by about 120 meters. This caused a landmass to be exposed to sunlight that connected Asia and America. This was the land bridge of Beringia, where humans lived for generations and slowly migrated to the other side of the world. These humans that migrated to America would eventually form the Maya, Inca, and Aztec civilizations, among many other empires. The crossing of the Bering Strait would prove to alter the course of history. And then, out of nowhere, the most revolutionary discovery was made: growing crops from seeds. The Neolithic Revolution was driven by the invention of agriculture. This marked the end of humanity's hunter-gatherer era. Thanks to agriculture, people could grow more food on a steady basis, which caused populations to skyrocket. Communities grew into villages, and villages into cities. One of the first wheels used for transportation was nearly solid discs of wood and were found in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. These solid discs were later replaced by spoked wheels about 1,000 years later. These were much lighter and made vehicles faster. Over the centuries, wheels became lighter, stronger, and made transportation faster, changing the speed of war, exploration, and economies. Today, although it has been invented long ago, the wheel is still evolving as stronger and more versatile versions are being made. Back in the day, Mesopotamia developed the first alphabet, the cuneiform script. The cuneiform script consists of wedge-shaped marks in clay tablets and was used to count livestock or document business records. At roughly the same time, the Egyptians came up with the hieroglyphs. It is a system of pictograms and drawings, often carved in sandstone. The cuneiform script and the hieroglyphics enabled writing to happen. From this moment onward, trading, administration, and communication over large periods and space became possible. Under Pharaoh Khufu, Egypt's 4th dynasty built the mighty pyramids of Giza in the span of 20 years. For almost 4,000 years, the pyramids of Giza were the largest man-made structures of the world. They were built to secure the pharaoh's safe passage to the afterlife as they were entombed in these pyramids. The bodies of pharaohs rested in sarcophagi of stone and were surrounded by statues, offerings, and food to aid the souls in their journey. Because it served as the gateway to the afterlife, the Egyptians built the pyramids with near inhumane precision. The pyramids were carefully aligned with the Orion belt, whose stars were associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife. Between the stars of the Orion belt, pharaohs were thought to be reunited with Osiris in the field of reeds, a heavenly paradise. In Babylon, possibly one of the first legal systems was put in place that sought to rightfully punish the unlawful and protect the citizens. They carved the Code of Hammurabi, a set of 282 laws written in Akkadian and cuneiform script. These laws detailed punishments equal to one's crime, ensured fair wages, land ownership rights, and family laws. The code is famous for its law of retaliation, eye for an eye. However, the code did not treat all equally. The Babylonian society knew three main social classes: the Wilu, Mushkenu, and the Wardom. Crimes against nobles were often harder punished than crimes against lower classes. While the code was one of the first legal systems, justice was unequal, especially towards the lower classes. They didn't stand a chance against the wealthy. The Olmec civilization was the first empire to dominate Mesoamerica and constructed one of the first cities in the region. The Olmecs laid the foundation for urban planning as they built their cities with plazas, pyramids, and expansive drainage systems. The Olmecs also created one of the first writing systems in Mesoamerica and their own calendar. The Olmec civilization formed the foundation for many other empires that rose out of its ashes, including the Mayas, Incas, Aztecs, and Toltecs. According to the dramatic legend, Romulus, the son of Mars, killed his brother Remus after fighting over who would be the rightful founder of their new city. After killing him, Romulus went on to establish the city along the Tiber River and named it after himself, Rome, becoming the first king of the Roman kingdom. However, historical evidence proves that this story wasn't how Rome was established. The area was originally settled by Latins. The Tiber River was ideal for commerce and defense, which boosted the growth of individual towns in the region. These individual towns later merged and formed one big city, Rome, the center of the ancient world, influencing law, government, and culture. This is where the mighty reign of the Roman Empire started. Back in the day, it was believed that the Earth was flat. This idea began to change when most notably Pythagoras began to speculate about Earth being possibly round. He believes that spheres were nature's most perfect shapes. Centuries later, Aristotle backed him up by providing three arguments: lunar eclipses, changing star positions, and ships disappearing over the horizon. These theories were slowly worked out until there was undeniable proof that the Earth was round. Nowadays, however, some remain in denial and believe that the Earth is flat. Alexander the Great was born as the son of King Philip II in Macedonia. He was taught by Aristotle, who influenced Alexander's appreciation for Greek culture. After his father got assassinated, Alexander took his throne with the ambition of conquering the Persian Empire, which was the dominant power in the region. And thus, Alexander the Great started one of the most remarkable military campaigns in history. He began the conquer in Asia Minor, where Alexander achieved his first victory at Granicus. At Issus, Alexander the Great fought against the forces of Persian King Darian III, a battle from which he barely escaped. After a 7-month siege, Alexander captured the important coastal city of Tyre. Then, he conquered Egypt, where he was welcomed as a liberator. Here, he founded the city of Alexandria, which became a center of Greek culture. At the decisive Battle of Gaugamela, Alexander the Great defeated King Darian III at last, bringing down the Persian Empire in flames. But he did not stop there. Alexander the Great continued to march through Afghanistan and into Asia until his troops refused after years of war. Alexander the Great died in Babylon 10 years later, but his legacy remains as he brought Greek culture far and beyond. Before the unification, Chinese states were constantly at war. The Qin state, situated in the west, began systematically defeating every major state in China. King Zheng, ruler of the Qin state, took 9 years to conquer all of China and unify all states into one dynasty. King Zheng declared himself emperor right after and implemented major changes that would lay the foundation for future dynasties. The China we know of today was formed right here. Jesus Christ was a religious leader in the Roman province of Judea, where his teachings attracted a lot of attention from both followers and the opposition. Jesus Christ was soon arrested and accused by the Jewish Sanhedrin Council of blasphemy for claiming to be the Messiah. The Roman authorities were concerned about his political implications and wanted Jesus Christ gone as well. Thus, the Roman governor of Judea sentenced him to death. Jesus Christ was forced to carry his own cross to the site of execution, and was later nailed to the wooden pillar. His death would later be the symbol of his sacrifice and spawned one of the largest religions in history. His cross would become the symbol of Christianity as his followers spread his message far and beyond the Roman Empire. After 1,000 years of firm rulership, the once mighty Roman Empire fell as the last emperor, Romulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. The land Rome once ruled was fragmented beyond salvation. Barbarian kingdoms such as the Franks took Roman provinces over, but lacked the skills that kept the Roman Empire running. Cities that were once thriving were now abandoned. The state of the Roman road network declined. The fall of the Western Roman Empire marked the start of the Dark Ages as life deteriorated everywhere across the Roman ruins. The Viking Age is traditionally considered to have begun when the Lindisfarne monastery in Scotland was raided with violence. The monastery was pillaged for its wealth and its Christian monks were killed or taken captive. The Vikings came from Scandinavia in northern Europe and began pillaging monasteries and towns all over West Europe. While Christianity was starting to dominate Western Europe as the Dark Ages swept over its land, Islam started flourishing in the Middle East, and by the 800s, entered its Golden Age. Cities in the Middle East grew as prosperity, trade, and populations increased significantly. During the Golden Age, the House of Wisdom was established in Baghdad, which sought to translate and preserve knowledge of the entire ancient world. Scholars of many cultures and religions, Christians, Jews, Muslims, and Persians, came together and studied Roman, Greek, and Indian texts in particular. The Islam's Golden Age ended when Mongols, led by Hulagu Khan, swept into the Middle East. The House of Wisdom got destroyed. Many of its students were killed. During the Tang dynasty, Chinese alchemists tried making an elixir of immortality when they accidentally created an explosive compound. They called this compound a fire medicine. At first, this fire medicine was used for fireworks and signal flares, until it was later used for weapons as well. Historical sources also suggest that gunpowder was stuffed into live animals to turn them into walking bombs. In the late 11th century, the Byzantine Empire that controlled much of Eastern Europe and Asia Minor was attacked by Seljuk Turks, a Muslim group. The Byzantine emperor sent an urgent request to Pope Urban II for military aid to push back the adversaries. The Pope called for a military expedition and rallied Christians to fight and free the Holy Land, particularly Jerusalem, from Muslim control. Additionally, Christian pilgrims who traveled to Jerusalem at the time were often subjected to harassment from the Seljuk Turks. Though the First Crusade ended in disaster, it would spark a dark age as the Holy War between the Christians and the Muslims ignited. The aftermath of the Holy War is still felt to this day. John, King of England, faced heavy opposition from barons as he abused his royal powers, imposed heavy taxation, and was responsible for military failures. His barons rebelled and forced King John to negotiate, leading to the creation of the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta consisted of 63 clauses that sought to address political, legal, and feudal issues. For example, the king alone could not impose taxes without approval of the Great Council. No free man could be imprisoned or punished without a fair trial, and the king could not arrest individuals without legal reasons. Among many other clauses, the Magna Carta introduced the trial by jury and influenced many judicial systems of today. The Renaissance finds its origin in Florence, Italy, due to its wealthy merchant class, the protection and preservation of art, and access to ancient Roman and Greek texts. The rediscovery of ancient Roman and Greek philosophy spawned a sudden, steep rise of innovation. There came an emphasis on the human mind as ideas developed about the individual potential, critical thinking, and literature. Some of the greatest artists came from this period as artistic concepts such as perspectives, realism, and naturalism developed. Thinkers like Galileo and Copernicus challenged our traditional views of the Earth and the galaxy, paving the way for the scientific revolution. Among many other developments that took place, the Renaissance changed the world forever.